All right, so I'm going to do another video here, kind of do with the interior of the car. I am putting the engine work on hold because basically I got a couple offers from guys that have running ones to sell me, and the price is pretty good. So I think I'm just going to not worry about the engine for now. So I'm going to start working on the interior and the electronics more than anything. So I have some few questions for those of you that are Hudson people out there. I'm wondering about some very small detail stuff. Like, for instance, this is the color that they all came in, this kind of greenish, I don't know what we call that, finish that they have on the dash. And mine obviously has, weathered and aged poorly. I don't know. I don't think this is like a covering or a paint or a sticker. I don't know if I can get this brown kind of color off that, or if I'm just kind of stuck with living with it, or if there's a way I can somehow clean that off that I don't know about. I just tried soap and water, and this isn't coming off. It's kind of you can actually feel it with your fingernail. It's kind of a rust kind of feeling to it, but it's clean, right? I just washed it off with soap and water. So maybe you guys have a good idea, like there's some kind of magic, Coke formula or something that takes that brown off or that age off. I'd like to know. If I'm just stuck with it, I'm stuck with it. That's cool. I don't really mind it that much. I kind of like the finish on the dash. And little thing like this is fabric along the door frame. So obviously this is the headliner up here. My headliner's shot. It's gross. It smells like mice droppings. But this piece of fabric that runs along here, I like to replace this. Obviously, is this something that that comes in a kit? Someone sells this, or is this something that I need to kind of fabricate or what? Because this all needs to be replaced on my stuff. The door seals look pretty good, actually. They're not too bad. I'm more worried about the smell and the stink, if that's going to be an issue or not. But I might try to save the door seals because they all look really, really, really good in this car. Another thing, it looks like these frames that go out. So obviously, I have a bad window or glass, so I'm also looking for some glass. It's a passenger side glass for this thing. But these kind of finished pieces that are around, it looks like they almost have like a wood grain sticker on them. And I wonder that's if I'm looking at that right, or that's something I should paint, or what's any good suggestions out there about how I refinish some of this stuff. I mean, it's all pretty old. Even the seal down here, the metal is kind of rusty looking. So I take these off and try to get them painted. Just some thoughts I'm looking for how I would go about doing this, making this look as pretty as possible. Also, my radio grill here, it's got some rust on it. I tried just doing this with a I haven't put a wire brush on it yet because I'm kind of afraid of taking off the finish of it, but it's got some rust on it. So is that something that you guys have seen pulled off and cleaned up? Would you take that off and get it painted, get it dipped? I mean, I don't really know what these things look like brand new or what they look like when they're cleaned up. So if any of you guys have pictures to share of your 47 radio area, I'd really appreciate it. I'm just trying to see what they're supposed to look like and what I need to do to kind of clean it up. I mean, I think I can probably get this off with some steel wool maybe. But I'm not really sure. I'm just kind of looking for, I'm sure I'm not the first person to do this, so I'm thinking somebody else has better ideas than I do. I obviously have some electrical work to do here. They pulled the ignition out of here, and they kind of have it hanging down here, the keys and the switch and all that stuff. So I got to kind of figure out what all this stuff is, and the starter button's right there. So I got to fight through all that stuff. But the wiring looks pretty good. It looks pretty solid. It all looks pretty like this. It's not too dry rotted or too crusty or breaky kind of look to it. But I got bulbs everywhere still. But so the wiring looks good. I just got to kind of deal with getting it all working again and get a battery in here. And I got some great advice about the battery situation. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward. Probably get a 6-volt Optima like everyone kind of suggested I should. So I'll do that. Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with the interior. I'm going to start working on the electrical stuff. Maybe at least, if I could turn the key and get some power, that'd be kind of cool. I can at least, check on wiring and get the stuff working. So when I do get an engine, I can turn the key and start her up. So that's kind of where I'm at. Anyone have any kind of gotchas or things you've come across or issues you've had doing this kind of stuff? I'd love to hear from you. Appreciate it. All the help I've gotten so far from the Hudson group. So that's it for now.